Honestly, might be worse that they're going to be playing like half of the game for Middle Country.
Welcome to the rinks here in Hauppauge. Smithtown Hauppauge taking on Middle Country and a varsity matchup of the SCHSHL here on the Long Island Sports Network. My name's Kevin Broderick, joined by Wally Mitchell on the camera, as we got some short-staffed teams today, but obviously they're still going to be putting out their best effort as we get into the national anthem. So in total for tonight, Middle Country sending out 6 skaters. Smithtown Hauppauge sending out a total of 7. The Bulls rocking into this game 15-2-0. Middle Country, the Cougars, 4-11-1. Middle Country not out of a playoff spot. They're definitely still in the fight for that. A big win against the Bulls would go a long way to securing it. Obviously, Smithtown Hauppauge, one of their hardest remaining games. A hard game for anyone to play, as the Bulls are still top of the standings here in the SCHL Varsity Division. And for Smithtown Hauppauge, holding on to that #1 seed for playoffs, I think, is what has to be at the forefront of their minds. Regardless of the way you break it down, there are a lot of teams that are going to be coming for the Bulls in the playoffs, knowing that they're the #1 seed. As we'll be getting into the first period, 15 minutes on the clock. Importantly for Smithtown Hauppauge as well, all 3 members of the Mad Line out there. It's McNamara, Anderson, and Diorico. And Diorico will control off the draw, looking to get into the offensive end, sending a quick warning shot off the broad side of the goal. Anderson takes it back, looking for Diorico down low, pops onto the far side of the net. Diorico stick handling up top for Cummings, has room, slides it left. Good possession as McNamara looks to take a trip down low himself. Gets back to it on the backhand. Poked loose. Shimmied up the boards, Diorico there. Leaves it behind. Cummings looking to spin at the point. Into the high slot. It's on his backhand. Trying to fiddle it over to McNamara. Poked away by the Cougars, and they'll look to clear the zone. Good play from Norris. Again, neither team going to be skating as hard as usual. Again, you want to keep those legs fresh throughout its entirety. It does feel a little bit better for both teams that neither side has a whole ton of depth to speak of tonight. It's always a bit awkward when you look at one bench and you see a bunch of sardines packed in, and you look at the other side and there's just one substitute waiting there. When that happens, you always know it's going to be a long night. One thing to mention as well, a lot of players probably going to be playing out of position today, so maybe some defensemen will get an opportunity to get up in the forward rush, and obviously Krikow showing off that he can play some defense with a nice hit at the blue line. Bulls with it again. Long stretch pass. McNamara in. He has Krikow off to his right side. Waits, fires, middle, in front. They score. Bulls make it 1-0 early on. Once again, the patience of McNamara on full display. McNamara surveys. Auerbach wanted it in the middle. Auerbach with it now, taking the position of McNamara. Saucer up to Cummings. Walks left at the blue line. Hits the return pass. Now down low for Diorico. Elevates it and out of play. Just a couple minutes gone by here in the first period, but already a 1-0 lead for Smithtown Hauppauge. A bit of a nice appetizer, really, to bring us into the main meal of the night, which is the game following this one, East Islip versus Sachem. Now, the reason that I think so many people should be excited for that game is because those two clubs are locked into a playoff race for the third overall seed. And, well, you might ask, Kevin, why is the third overall seed important? Well, I'll tell you. The third overall seed is very important because the fourth will more than likely have to play Northport Huntington. And I don't know about you, but I would not want to play Northport Huntington regardless of it's the first, second, or third round. I definitely wouldn't want to play them if it's the first round because that's, in my opinion, probably the hardest matchup that you could get. Now, if you're the third overall seed, it gets a little bit easier. Obviously, the higher a seed you are, the lower a seed you play on the other end. Puck shot in by Middle Country. Quickly back are the Bulls. Cummings will take over below his goal line and hits the outlet pass up the near boards. Krikow, the goal scorer. Breaks in. Back pass. Auerbach overskated it. Now has to deal with a pesky Clements. Lifted up and out as we get some hits along the near boards. Now, obviously, Smithtown Hauppauge in their playoff race, well, it really isn't much of a race. They control their own destiny. Still lead the varsity division in points. Obviously, only 2 losses on the year, so they should feel confident no matter who they're playing. Quick shot taken down low and the save made. Kenneth Bridgeford Jr. getting the start in net on the right side of your screen. Cardona on the left side of your screen getting the start today. Pass in front. McNamara robbed on the backhand. Bridgeford with an excellent sprawling save. Diorico goes across. McNamara with it again, looking to dangle but left it behind him, and now the Cougars pounce on top of it. They have a 1-on-1, 2-on-1 past the blue line. A man in the middle. Shot will whistle off to the left side. Spins all the way around the boards and out of the zone. McMillan will recover for Middle Country. Chips it ahead on the backhand, scales up the wall. Diorico gets it and instantly inverts towards the blue line. Breaking through. Diorico still with it. Slides it middle. It went through and through. Cummings for Hauppauge. Just trying to get it away from danger. Hits McNamara. McNamara for Cummings. Couldn't thread the needle on that pass. Still in the zone, though, for Smithtown. Hauppauge, and then an active stick right there breaks it away. Shot from McNamara, interrupted by a stick from Logan Norris. Diorico walking at the goal line, looking to feather something towards the back post. Anderson right there to keep it in. Eaten up by Clements. The Bulls win it back. Tip it in deep. Anderson trying to hold it in the corner, but the puck will get past him. McMillan having a hard time getting that second pass, and the forecheck of the Bulls continues to do good work. Hauppauge dancing. Looking to glide. Gets it to Anderson. What a goal! Did he go through the legs? How the hell did Anderson do that? Check this out in slow motion from Anderson. That is such nifty work. Anderson with the best bid at the highlight for the night. Diorico trying to get one for himself. Hits it back to Anderson. Little ladle pass to Diorico. Below the goal line, sent it out in front. And the shot goes off left. Taking a look at the varsity standings right now. Smithtown Hauppauge with a total of 31 points. 15 wins, 1 loss in regulation, 1 loss in overtime. Anderson to the middle, looking to go 5-hole. He scores. St. Anthony's not far behind the Bulls with a total of 29 points. They're 14 wins and 2 losses. Nothing in overtime for St. Anthony's. They do have 1 tie as well, as we'll get an offsides blown by our officials here at the rinks. And then the juicy matchup that I was talking about before, Sachem and East Islip. Sachem right now with 28 total points through 18 games played. East Islip 26 points through 17 games played. So obviously a game in hand right there for the Chiefs, as McNamara will blast one off the legs of Bridgeford. Stays in play. Goes up top. Creekow with it. Long rifling shot goes above the crossbar. Still alive for Cummings. He dices it up. Hits McNamara down low with options. McNamara to Hauppauge. Blasted in. 4-0 for the Bulls here in the first period. 8 minutes to play. The aforementioned Northport Huntington Tigers, 10-5 is their overall record. They have 2 overtime losses as well, giving them some more points. Northport Huntington at a total of 22. So definitely a little bit behind East Islip. Unlikely for them to catch up. So East Islip, thankfully for them, hold their destiny in their own hands. As well, again, East Islip has the possibility to get into that 3rd overall spot to avoid that matchup with Northport Huntington, which they split that season series. Additionally, a little extra wrinkle in that conversation. The last time East Islip played Northport Huntington, the Tigers were short-handed and also missing JT Caruso, who is the point leader for Northport Huntington. So you could easily see a world in which the 5 seed could upset the 4 seed. Not that that's too crazy to think of either. Pass out in front. No one finding an angle on the shot. Cummings takes it back. D-to-D pass. 4-0 for Smithtown Hauppauge right now. Rob leading his team in points. Although there are a couple of Bulls players missing from the score sheet. Hauppauge. Nifty pass. Diorico with a man in front. It was McNamara instead. Diorico will take the shot himself. Shut down by number 1. Back to the neutral zone we go. Quick outlet pass will go down. Bridgeford will knock it off to the corner. Mazzarella trying to play it away, forcing a blocked shot from Logan Norris. Bulls still have it. Anderson hits Kreekow. Big shoulder hit right there. Left circle. Anderson a shot. Falls down right in front of Bridgeford to cover up. 5:43 remaining in the first period. Cummings, plenty of space for him, looking for a tip in front. Puck still loose and eventually knocked around for Ryan McMillan. He'll circle the zone. Cougars trying to punch it out. Ends up with Cummings, surveying for option. Hits the man down low. It's McNamara. Glove save. Quick reactions for Kenneth. McNamara, quick wrist shot, and he scores. McNamara once again in front of the net. This time he'll get robbed. Cougars looking for a rush up the ice. Puck once in front. Hauppauge will bury it for another score. Scramble, one out for now by the Cougars. Rob takes it, hits up top. Diorico across Cummings. Top of the circle, shot saved by Bridgeford. 6-0 right now for Smithtown Hauppauge, still in the first period. Hauppauge ladling it to Cummings. Diorico steps forward, wrister on net, creates a scramble. Bridgeford will cover it up once more as he had McNamara out in front of his kitchen. Taken up and out. Benoit trying to split through a pair. Benoit in front for a shovel shot. Creates a rebound for McMillan. Neither of them will go. Long outlet. Oh, Anderson just couldn't get it through his feet. All the way down for an icing. Diorico in a 2-on-2. McMillan on the back check. Hits McNamara. McNamara's shot. Bridgeford makes that glove save. Norris has it now and does get it out of the zone. Knocked down by McNamara. He'll twirl around at the blue line. Now offsides. That hit was enough to put Hauppauge in an awkward position. He wasn't able to stop in time. So offsides called on the Bulls. 2:25 remaining in the first period. Here's Grayson Benoit. He's got some nice skills. Into a 2-on-2, going wide on Creekow. Cuts up at the goal line. Looking for a backhand centering feed. Not going to go his way. The Bulls intercept and skate north. 2 minutes remaining here in this first period on the LI Sports Network. Good defense right there from the Bulls to not allow McMillan to get past. Diorico turns the corner. Shoulder save right there. Recount with it again. Has plenty of room. Kick save this time. Rebound goes off to the side. Couple of high-quality saves right there for Bridgeford. Important to control the rebounds. Breakaway out of nowhere, and a sprawling stop on the other side. Cardona gets his highlight of the day. Diorico to the front. Hauppauge, patient, stick tied up, rebound. Diorico buries it. Hauppauge could go down Main Street here. Sachets off to his left side. The puck squirts through some feet, comes out. Creekow, shot blocked. Gritty play right there from Clements, although I don't know if he wanted to do that intentionally. The puck just kind of came in front, still hobbling around in a bit of pain. He'll stay on the ice. Bridgeford making a nice stop down low out of the butterfly. And under 40 seconds to play here in this first period. Anderson touches it ahead. Still plenty of time for the Bulls. Centering feed, not going to go the way they wanted. It was a little bit behind Hauppauge. Still recovers over to the corner. Has Diorico joining him down low. Overskated. Clements came in for it. Fights through Diorico and now has plenty of open ice to skate. Lifted in, covered up. And the clock will expire here in the first period. 7-0 lead for Smithtown Hauppauge against Middle Country. We'll be right back here on the LI Sports Network for the start of the second. And we're back for the start of the second period here on the LI Sports Network. Smithtown Hauppauge pouring it on in the first 15. As they are looking for their 16th win of the season. McNamara at the blue line, just barely able to handle it in. Diorico will go after the loose puck and looked for a tip in front. Hauppauge was there for it, but Bridgeford made a better save on the far post. Another centering feed. Hauppauge brings it back for the shot. Went all the way through the slot, and now McMillan takes control. McMillan off to his left side. Puts it on net and another glove save. Puck will be held alive, sent off the high boards. Diorico and McNamara the first ones to it. They cut across the blue. Hauppauge the trailer, and the pass will go all the way out of the zone. Circled around and trying to hunt it down. It's Logan Norris taken away by McNamara. Hits Diorico. Has two men in the middle looking for the tip. It's off to the right side for Anderson, who scored that highlight goal in the first period. Here comes Mizzarella. He has plenty of speed. Twirls. Had Clements in the middle. Instead, it's out for Diorico. Leads the 3-on-3. Diorico, McNamara in the slot. Pulls it to the backhand, looking for the pass. Puck still loose out in front. The shot will go off the iron. Sat on the near post before it was scooped up by McMillan. Looking to clear the zone and found some trouble on the far boards. McMillan will cycle it back down low. McNamara trying to cut off the breakout. Comes to Grayson Benoit. Up but not out. Anderson was there to cut it off. And then one more opportunity and the Cougars strike iron. Diorico. Now for Anderson. Ahead McNamara. Good puck movement for the Bulls in the transition as a wrist shot off target on the left side of the net. Anderson and Cummings play catch and go. Still no goals here in the second period. Good touch for McNamara. Gets it to Diorico across Hauppauge. Gives it back. McNamara dancing, looking for Diorico. And a good save for Bridgeford, going from his left to his right. Mizzarella once again afforded room to fly. Has Clements in the blue paint form. Wraps all the way around and took a shoulder check to the chest. And that was good enough for Anderson to pop the puck over to Diorico. Now Diorico with McNamara. Connects in front. McNamara scores. We'll get another face-off at center ice. Cummings fires it off the boards. McNamara with it again. Pulls up, looks for a cross-ice pass. Almost one more touch to Anderson. Bridgeford will take it instead. Cummings pops down for Hauppauge, but was swiped aside instead by the defense back. I believe it was Grayson Benoit to get his stick on it. Popped up by Clements and knocked down by Hauppauge, who was in front of him. McNamara across the blue line. Poked off his stick. Mizzarella. He still wants one today. Mizzarella in front and angled off. Cardona was over in time. Anderson to Hauppauge. A little too hot to handle. Back forward is Benoit again. Anderson loops, pass off. Cummings. Check that. That was Arbach there. Cummings in the neutral zone right there. Arbach. Diorico into his stick battle. One out by Mizzarella. It's out of the zone. Krikow dumps it back in. Gloved away by Mizzarella. He'll hit McMillan. Challenged instantly. Sachets around Diorico. Puck popped off his stick, and Diorico will take it. Leaves it for McNamara. Scanning his options and wiggles it up the boards. Diorico in the corner. Puck once again out of the zone, so McNamara will go for a skate. Slides it ahead. Puck off the high glass. Anderson squats down low to try to hold the zone, but it gets past him anyways. Cummings swoops in, threads it through two, cycled around, and Anderson can break through the blue line. Has a man cutting middle, looking for McNamara. Knocked aside by Bridgeford. McNamara gets it back, looking to hit Anderson. Check that, that was Arbach. Told you in the first period, a lot of players are going to be playing out of position. Not used to seeing Anderson standing out the blue line in 5-on-5 situations. Diorico will skate after it. Puts it onto the tape. McNamara with it now, across for Anderson. Partially interrupted by Mizzarella, so no one-timer available there. Cummings hits it to Anderson. East to west, McNamara now in front. Look there, the tip in. That would have been an assist for Diorico. Puck will go down for an icing. Another face-off win for the Bulls. Looking for a deflection in front was Krikow. They'll take another touch at the blue line. This time it ramps off the stick of Norris. Diorico has it to the middle and tapped in. Arbach will get that goal. Another opportunity. Wrap around. McNamara gets to the spot first and scores. Actually double-check that. It's a bit of celebration on the Middle Country bench, but... oh, yeah, no goal. So I stand corrected. McNamara not scoring there for anyone keeping a score sheet at home. I believe that might have been offsides. Either that or something like a hand pass because the face-off was in the neutral zone. It's like a game of Clue right now, trying to put together the possibilities. Down the middle, another shot. Bridgeford this time making the save. Diorico on the O-zone draw. Instead, it goes the way of Middle Country. Opportunity in front. Swooping in is Creekcow. He'll wrap, hit McNamara at the goal line. Not with a whole ton of options. Gives it back to big number 85, who wrist shot goes way above the crossbar. Hauppauge on a turnaround now, and Bridgeford just got a piece of it with the glove. Got some NHL games in action right now. Senators versus Red Wings. Second period intermission. Score is 3-3 in that. You got a final already. Lightning versus Stars. Tampa took that 4-1. Good win for Tampa Bay. Game coming later today. Blues versus Oilers. Obviously the more important game coming later today. East Islip versus Sachem. Two 10-plus win teams locking horns here on the LI Sports Network. Winner of that will be in control of the third place seeding come playoff time. The Bulls in front of you right now, holding on to first place. So I guess they would have a little bit of interest in who would end up in that third place spot, because that will impact who they would play in the second round, assuming the Bulls were to win. Diorico into a 2-on-1. Across for McNamara was robbed net front by Bridgeford. McNamara with it again. Cummings is passing option at the blue line. Instead cycles all the way around to the stick in front, and Diorico couldn't knock it home. Hauppauge loops it. McNamara and Diorico going there. Mizzarella was the one who sandwiched it against the wall first. Continues to squirt up, and Mizzarella will fire it ahead. Opportunity to rush for the Cougars. Shot save made, and I believe we have a goalie change. Serpico into the net now. Cummings surveying. Gives it to Anderson across the blue line with McNamara on his hip. Anderson will dip, sending a centering feed, and no one was there for it. Anderson will take it back by himself, finding McNamara all alone down low. Rebound, Diorico couldn't get it in. Kenny with a nice two-piece save right there. McNamara back to the right circle. Pulls up below the goal. Gretzky location for McNamara. Sends it in front, Cummings. Whips it to the middle. Knocked aside, and Middle Country will get it all the way out. Cummings to Diorico. He got that pass off in a hurry. Allows McNamara to break it in. Anderson to his left. Shot rings off the crossbar. Goes down the zone. Hauppauge to Anderson. Stripped by McMillan. The puck sits free. Sliding into the Bulls' end. Make that Creekcow to cover it up. Exchanges hands a couple of more times. McMillan just trying to twirl away. Ends up with McNamara into a 3-on-1. Lackadaisical pass will take a bank off the corner. Diorico fired it towards center ice. It hit Hauppauge. Tries to stab it towards McNamara, but that was interrupted by Grayson Benoit. Circles it, but not out of the zone. Diorico with it again off the half wall. Dips around Benoit on the backhand and quickly takes it to the forehand for the shot. 2:59 remaining in the second period. Score still 8-0 for Smithtown Hauppauge. Make that 9-0. More iron hit for the Bulls. This time off the right post. Turnaround shot. Diorico couldn't put it on net as it was blocked away. Anderson down the wall. Fired towards the middle. Creekcow trying to get the shot off. Diorico off the rebound again. 2:20 remaining in the second period. McNamara against Benoit. Knocks the pass behind him. Slid out in front. Cougars have the first man there. McNamara trying to get around Mizzarella. Bulls off sides right now, needing to check up. $1:40 remaining in the second period. Couple of shoulder fakes, and Mizzarella will break around one player, cuts across the blue line. Mizzarella trying to dance, but 3 players were one too many for him. Now McNamara pulls up, has a couple of trailers, hits it to Hauppauge in the middle, wrist shot, scores. Right now, Middle Country does have the 8th place seed for playoffs here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League, which means they would actually be playing the Bulls in the first round as everything stands. Hauppauge peppers another one on net, and Bridgeford makes the save. Obviously, can't really take away a whole lot from this matchup because come playoff time, both of these teams will have full rosters here. We reach the dying stages of the second period, just over 30 ticks remaining. Enough time for one more rush for either side. Norris trying to play his hand. He gets angled off the puck. Anderson commits a turnover, though. McMillan looking to go back to Norris. Has room for the shot, and Serpico will make the stop. Keeps the puck alive and now covers up with 12 ticks remaining. Middle Country right now, couple points behind Connecticut Sayville, 4 to be specific. They do have a game in hand. So for Middle Country, their remaining schedule, couple of tough games, one game that they should win, and we'll talk about that when we come back from the second period intermission here on the LI Sports Network. And we're back for the start of the third period. Like I was talking about, the remaining games for Middle Country, barring this one, obviously. St. Anthony's on January 19th. Another Sunday matchup versus Pat Med. And then a January 30th Friday matchup against Northport Huntington, the Tigers. So, obviously, St. Anthony's and Northport Huntington are some tough customers to be playing in your final 3 games, but they should be favored against Pat Med, who are still yet to win a game this season. Now, looking ahead to the T-Birds, who are the team just 4 points ahead of them. Kanekwa-Sayville, an equally difficult schedule for 2 of their games. They still have to play Smithtown Hauppauge, and then they play St. Anthony's, January 19th and January 25th. And then they have a matchup against Pat Med. So Pat Med, definitely an opportunity to spoil someone's season down the stretch of these things. You could play spoiler to either the T-Birds or the Cougars. Now, the team on the outside looking in right now is Ward Melville. They're just 1 point behind Middle Country for that last playoff spot. They have to play KPC and Sachem, which are neither easy games for the Patriots. And just beneath Ward Melville in 10th place, still with a theoretical chance to get into the playoffs, is West Islip. They have a matchup against Pat Med, which is a must-win for them in order to have a hope of making the playoffs, followed up by 2 hard games with Northport Huntington and East Islip. West Islip right now also in the midst of a pretty big losing streak, so might be a little bit demoralized, including a loss to the Cougars that you see in front of you right now. That was 5-4 back on December 21st, 2025. Arbach with it again, looking off to the middle as the tip sails off to the right side of the post. 5 minutes down here in this third period. Shutout still being handled between 2 different Smithtown Hauppauge goalies. Cardona got the start in the game. Serpico has been in since the halfway point. Turnover down low for Smithtown. Hauppauge allows the Cougars to skate it out. Dumped in. Serpico stops it up and will cover up before the whistle. McNamara on the breakaway, finds the wrister to go. And it's another one for number 12. Minute 8 left in the power play for the Cougars, looking for another entry across the blue line. It's Benoit right now with control. Loops all the way around to the corner, has Miserella in the one-timer, takes it for a wrist shot, and Serpico makes the save with just above 5 minutes left. Bulls have it down low, given over for Cummings. .417 remaining in the third period. Arbach gives it easily over to Diorico. D-to-D pass for Cummings. As Smithtown Hauppauge right now just trying to kill off the remainder of this clock for their 16th win of the season and a 16-2-0 overall record. $1:50 remaining in the game. Smithtown Hauppauge on the verge of another shutout. McNamara will curl around and send the Pats the other way. As the Bulls just looking to play McNamara and Diorico on the boards. Puck down low to the goal line. Comes up top, Benoit. One last shot, maybe. Was temporarily in the slot and fired down the ice. As we hit the final buzzer here between Smithtown Hauppauge and Middle Country, the Bulls will find their 16th win of the season, now 16-2-0. Middle Country dropping to 4-12-1, but still in a playoff spot in that 8th place seed. We'll be right back here on the LI Sports Network for another matchup between East Islip and Sachem, a battle for the 3rd overall seed here in the Suffolk County High School Hockey League Varsity Division. On behalf of Wally Mitchell and myself, Kevin Broderick, thank you so much for watching. We'll be right back.